E3 2015 is pretty much over and done with now. We've pretty much had all of the streams. We've had Bethesda on Sunday, we had Ubisoft, EA, Microsoft and Sony on Monday, and we had Nintendo and the Square Enix company and the PC Gamer live streams as well. So pretty much E3 is over and done with in terms of press conferences and live streams. So I thought I'll give you my review of E3 2015 in one video. Now this video might go on for a long period of time, so I don't think I will include gameplay within this video, so you will just be staring at a few images on screen. My best advice, if you just open up another window and do something else and just keep this and just listen to it, there probably won't be anything like interesting in terms of the visual stuff. I might include screenshots of the games that I talk about, but yeah, I don't think I will include gameplay within this video, just to warn you guys. So to start off with, I watched the Nintendo Digital event. Obviously, I'll talk more about that in a minute, just because I feel like I've been too kind on Nintendo in my reaction video, so I will get more into Nintendo in a minute. But I watched Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, I watched EA, I watched I didn't actually watch Ubisoft. I only watched the trailers, and that was it. I didn't watch Bethesda, I didn't watch Square Enix, just because I was so deflated after Nintendo's conference. I really didn't want to watch anything else. I didn't watch the PC Gamer thing either, so I pretty much only watched Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft and EA, but my review will be based on the three companies pretty much. One thing I would say about EA is that a lot of people slag them off for bringing up Pele, but that bit interested me just because I'm a massive football fan, and Pele is an absolute legend in my opinion, so I was interested in that. But then again, I can understand why people were against it, just because it is a gaming convention. This time last year, I did slag off Sony for bringing up that bloke to talk about his TV program. So, you know, it wouldn't be fair for me to slag off one thing and then not to slag off the same thing pretty much. And that is what the Pele thing in EA's conference was. So let's just begin with Nintendo's conference, or Nintendo's digital event. And then I will go on to Microsoft and Sony, and then I will talk about who I think won E3 2015. So, Nintendo's digital event, I said in yesterday's video that stretching to the word awful was a little bit over the top, or something like that. But anybody that is following me on Twitter knows that, you know, I've been ranting about that digital event ever since it went live. And in that 4-minute reaction video yesterday, I think I was way too kind on Nintendo. I thought that showing for E3 was nothing short of diabolical. Seriously, people have come out on my channel and said that I am a Nintendo fanboy because, you know, I praised Nintendo for Splatoon, and rightly so, because Splatoon deserved praise. It really did, and I gave it praise, and that's what I do. I give praise where it's due. But I also come out and criticise Nintendo where I feel like they could do better. So, you know, I've come out and criticised Nintendo with their third party situation and their marketing for the Wii U. You guys who have watched this channel for a long period of time know that I'm not just a Nintendo fanboy. I don't just literally just say, oh yeah, Nintendo, they're the best thing since sliced bread. I don't do that on my channel. Anybody who has watched this channel for a long period of time knows that I am balanced. And, you know, like I said, I give Nintendo praise where it's due, but I also give them criticism where it's due. And with the digital event, that was just awful. That was just awful, 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 pure garbage. It was trash. It was good for 3DS owners, don't get me wrong. And, you know, if I was more of a 3DS fan, then that would have been a good digital event for me. But like I said many times on my channel, my 3DS is only being used for Pokemon, pretty much the main Pokemon games. I'm not interested in those shitty little, like, what do you call it? I can't remember what the name of it is, but not the lesser Pokemon games is what I know, or what I like to call them, like the Pokemon Shuffle, Pokemon Rumble World, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. I played the first one, that didn't interest me one bit. So they're kind of like the lesser Pokemon games for me. They're not the mainline Pokemon games that I'm interested in. And that's what I pretty much use my 3DS for. Apart from Smash, I put in 70 hours into Smash Brothers 3DS. I absolutely loved that game on the 3DS. I didn't think I would. I actually have put in more time in the 3DS version than the Wii U version, but now that there's barely any Wii U games coming out, I guess I will put in more time into the Wii U version. But yeah, getting on topic, that digital event was just awful for me. I'm more of a Wii U fan. That's what I like. That's what I'm mainly interested in terms of Nintendo. And of course, with 3DS stuff, like the mainline Pokemon stuff, is the only thing I'm interested in terms of the 3DS. So in terms of Wii U, it was just a poor showing from Nintendo. They spent way too long talking about Mario Maker. We've seen a lot of Mario Maker at the World Championships, but I think they spent way too long talking about Mario Maker in the digital event. The same goes with Yoshi's Woolly World. They spent way too long talking about that as well. And in terms of the new games that they announced, that Animal Crossing board game, literally, what the hell was that about? We've already got a Mario Party game. We've already got an Amiibo party game, included within Mario Party. We don't need a separate game for that. We literally don't. Nobody from the Animal Crossing fan base wanted that game at all. You've got the Animal Crossing home design on the 3DS. That was just poor for me. But that board game, literally, we've got Mario Party already, and it's just not needed. I just don't understand why Nintendo didn't come out with an Animal Crossing Wii U, because at the end of the year, I think it's looking very weak. I do. At the end of the year, you got Star Fox, which at this moment in time, I did say in the reaction video that I was thinking about buying. Now I'm not so sure, because I think the graphics look so out of date. They really do. But I will talk more about details about Star Fox in my next Wii U News roundup video, because there is a reason why the graphics are so poor. Star Fox looks like an alpha game at this moment in time. I can't see that game coming out in 2015, and if it does, then it will pretty much be a rushed game. But yeah, the end of 2015 is looking weak for me. It's like you got Xenoblade Chronicles X, which we've been seeing that game for nearly 3 years now. It got revealed in a Nintendo Direct in January 2013. So it feels like that game's already come out, because it's come out in Japan. So yeah, I think the end of the year is looking weak. So I think Animal Crossing Wii U, like a proper Animal Crossing Wii U game, would have helped the Wii U at the end of the year. But what they come out with that Animal Crossing board game, that was just terrible. That was absolutely woeful. So that was the first new Wii U game that they're showing off. And the second new Wii U game is Mario Tennis, and that was like their main big surprise, which isn't really E3 worthy. I think what Nintendo should have done was not done all of their prior announcements to this digital event. I don't see why they did that mini direct. It's like that mini direct, everybody thought, right, they're getting all this stuff out of the way because they're going to have big announcements at E3 2015. They're going to have big announcements in their digital event, and they're getting rid of all these announcements to make room for it. But now, you're thinking, why the hell did they do that digital event? Because that mini digital event was probably better than the digital event at E3 2015. That mini direct was. It probably was better. It's like that, and the Earthbound announcement at the weekend. Smash Brothers Ryu announcement on Sunday, it basically made people expect more from the digital event. It made people think that we would have massive surprises in the digital event because they already are announcing big stuff already, so you would think that they're just making room for even more announcements, because you wouldn't think that Nintendo would pretty much blow their load early, and that's what they did. That's what they literally did. All their big announcements were made before the digital event, and it just, like I said, all that stuff before the digital event, it raised expectations. Some people would say, oh, well, you shouldn't have expected more then, should you? Well, I'm sorry, but that is just a stupid comment to make, because you would think that they would, announce more stuff when they did announce the stuff that they did at the time that they did. So, like I said, that digital event was just terrible. It would have been a poor direct for me, like just a box standard Nintendo Direct. But this is E3. This is the time of year where you are supposed to hype up everybody, for your games, for your console, and Nintendo failed to do that massively, in my opinion. And I think the one saving grace that I would give Nintendo is that they did show off games that are coming, like soon, pretty much. That games that are coming in 2015 and 2016. But when I know they did say that they're only going to be showing off like upcoming 2015 games, but they've said that before, and we still got to see like Zelda Wii U and stuff like that. It's like in a previous like that January 2013 Direct, they said, oh yeah, we're going to be showing off spring games, and then they're showing off Xenoblade Chronicles X, and obviously that game's coming out in December 2015, so it's pretty much 3 years since that game got revealed. And yeah, I was just disappointed. There was nothing new, barely anything new. I don't understand why Devil's Third wasn't in that digital event. I really don't. I'm going to make a separate video talking about Devil's Third. I don't want to get too much into it, like what I'm doing with Star Fox. We'll make a separate video about that. But yeah, I don't understand why games like Devil's Third and Fatal Frame weren't shown off. I really don't. Because what they shown off in the digital event, it was just mainly 3DS, it really was. And the Wii U stuff that they did show off, we've already seen lots of before. We've already seen lots of Mario Maker, Yoshi's Woolly World, Xenoblade Chronicles X. We've already seen lots of those games. We've barely seen anything new, and the 2 new Wii U games that they did show off wasn't good enough. Really wasn't good enough. It was just poor. Nothing else can describe that apart from poor. I'm sure some people say to me, "Oh, Snuff, you're overreacting. That was a really good digital event," but it wasn't. It wasn't for me. And I will make another video tomorrow talking about the NX, because I think Nintendo are preparing the NX now, and I will talk more about that in a video tomorrow. But yeah, that's just my thoughts about the digital event. I thought it was terrible. I really do. I think we should have got a trailer for Zelda Wii U. I know they said that they weren't going to do it, but even that would have made the digital event a lot better, pretty much. I know they said that they weren't going to show anything apart from like upcoming 2015 and 2016 games, but that didn't stop them last year from showing Splatoon, and that game came out pretty much nearly a year later. So I don't see why they couldn't do that this year as well. Why couldn't we have seen like a teaser trailer for a new Wii U game coming out in the middle of 2016? Because that's what they did last year. Last year's digital event was miles better than this year's digital event. Because last year, we got Splatoon, Smash Brothers Wii U and 3DS, Bayonetta 2. We got loads more better announcements for the Wii U. This year, all we got in terms of new announcements, alright, we got Star Fox, which was kind of new because we didn't see any gameplay before. But to be honest with you, that disappointed me. But I think, yes, in yesterday's video, I think I was a little bit excited for Star Fox just because of how poor the digital event was. I think if Star Fox was included in last year's digital event, then it would have been the worst game shown off. But because this year's digital event was so poor, it made Star Fox look better than what it was, in my opinion. And like I said, I will talk more about Star Fox in my next video. They're just my rambled thoughts about Nintendo's digital event this year. It was diabolical. It was just poor. It was trash. It was garbage. I just can't believe Nintendo thought that was good enough for E3. This is E3, like I said. This is the time where you hype up your customers, where you hype up future Wii U owners potentially. But they failed to do that massively, in my opinion. That digital event just left me deflated. It's like the clues in the flipping name. Digital event. Make it a spectacle. Make it something, that will get you hyped up. Make it an event. The clues in the flipping name. And they failed to do it. They failed to did it yesterday. That was just an awful showing, in my opinion. And I know a lot of people agree with me as well. And I'm glad that they do agree with me. I was watching the digital event and I was thinking, oh, this is bad. This is really bad. But a lot of people say that this is good. But I'm glad that Nintendo are getting criticism for that digital event, because I think they absolutely deserve it. Like I said, that digital event just left me deflated. I didn't really want to watch the Treehouse live streams. I didn't watch any of. I've only watched a little bit of the Star Fox that they're showing off with the Platinum guy. I didn't watch anything else. Whereas this time last year, I was literally watching that hours and hours and hours. And then when I went to bed, I made sure to catch up on what I missed from the Treehouse live streams. This year, I'm really not bothered, and I don't think I will actually watch the Treehouse live streams unless Devil's Third makes an appearance. I know that Fast Racer Neo, that will be making an appearance at the Treehouse live stream, and I will tune in to the live stream for that. But apart from that, no, I really can't be bothered with this year. I really can't. That's just how deflated Nintendo made me feel. It was just, I really can't believe they came out and did that. I really can't. But yeah, let's just move away from Nintendo now. I've spent way too long talking about Nintendo. They're just my thoughts. I felt like I was too kind on Nintendo yesterday. I really do. And yeah, they're just my honest thoughts about yesterday's digital event. So let's move on to Microsoft. I thought Microsoft's conference was okay, but for me it was worse than last year's conference, because last year they actually shown actual gameplay footage from a lot of the games that they did show off. But this year they shown a lot of CGI trailers, and Sony did that last year, but Sony this year, they shown a lot of games with actual gameplay. But yeah, going back to Microsoft, obviously Halo 5, it started off the conference. I thought it was pretty good. I did enjoy watching Halo. And then you had the Xbox backwards compatibility announcement, which they made a big deal out of. But then after that, it dipped massively for me. They showed a lot of CGI trailers, and my next highlight from Microsoft's conference was that Rare Collection. I think that was an absolute bargain. You're getting 30 games for $30, which is £18. It's going for £18 on Shop 2. That is just an absolute bargain. I hope it is 30 full games and not just like 30 demos, but I think it is like the full games. And yeah, that is just a cracking deal, that is. But then after that, again, I thought Microsoft's conference just dipped, and then there wasn't really much else to it's like Recore. That was their big new IP that they announced. A lot of people are making a big deal out of that. I don't really think much to it, just because what we saw at that conference was just a CGI trailer. We aren't going to be getting that in the actual game, so I think it is hard to judge Recall, but yeah, I think a lot of people are hyping up that game. And yeah, they ended on Gears, but before that they shown Tomb Raider. I thought that Tomb Raider look, I didn't think much to it. There was a lot of quick time events within that Tomb Raider showcase, so I didn't really think much to Tomb Raider at all. But yeah, they ended on Gears. They made an announcement about that they are remaking. I think it's the first Gears, but then they are making another Gears as well. I wasn't impressed by that new Gears at all. It was way too dark for me. I know that's what the series is known for, but literally I like to see what the hell I'm doing whilst I'm playing my games, and not, you know, I feel like with that game you have to turn up your brightness to your max on your TV just to see what to do or where you're actually going. I weren't really impressed by Microsoft that much. It was okay, but I thought it dipped massively, and I wasn't impressed by the fact that they're showing a lot of games with CGI trailers. Now, for me, this year there is only one winner. I think Sony won E3 2015 because they made people hyped for the PS4. They made people hyped for the upcoming games that are coming to the PS4. Yes, they aren't going to be coming for a long while probably, but this is E3, and that is what E3 is about. It is about getting people hyped up and excited about future games, and that is what Sony did within their conference with The Last Guardian, which I didn't really think much to of, if I'm being honest with you. With the Final Fantasy VII Remake, which again I'm not really bothered at all, and with Shenmue 3. I probably have pronounced that wrong, but a lot of people have been wanting those three games for a long time, and Sony have delivered on that, and it made people hyped up for the PS4. But yeah, I'm not really bothered about those three things, but I still thought that the Sony conference was the best at this year's E3, just because like I said before, they did show actual gameplay from the games that they did show off. I was impressed by that new IP from Guerrilla Games called Horizon. That definitely did impress me. Star Wars Battlefront, that co-op mission on Tatooine, that looked really, really fun. Can't wait to do that when I pick up the game. Well, if I do pick up the game, I'm not sure. It depends on how many game modes are within the game. But yeah, Star Wars Battlefront did impress me. Obviously, had Black Ops 3 as well. That announcement that DLC will be coming to PS4 early, and the beta will be coming to PS4 early as well. The Uncharted trailer at the end I thought was really, really good as well. Definitely will be picking up Uncharted 4 when I do pick up a PS4 soon. So yeah, I just thought Sony, they delivered on the hype. They had big announcements, they had big surprises that I don't think anybody really expected, to be honest with you. I don't think anybody expected Shenmue 3 to get shown off, or a Final Fantasy VII Remake. But yeah, that Sony conference, I thought it was quite good. I don't think it was amazing like what a lot of people are saying, but I definitely think from this year's conferences, I think Sony did do the best job. But so overall, I still think Nintendo's E3 2014 showing was a lot better than Sony's 2015 showing. That's what I think. But again, this is not about that. This is about 2015. And in 2015, Sony won E3 for me. So yeah, that just pretty much concludes my E3 2015 thoughts. Like I said, I thought Sony won E3 2015. I expected a lot more from Nintendo, especially after the World Championships. That was really good. I was so hyped seeing Splatoon like in a MLG sort of setting. That was just so good, and they didn't really top that for me. So yeah, their digital event was so disappointing. Microsoft's conference was worse than last year's, in my opinion. So yeah, that's just pretty much all I got to talk about. I thought E3 2015 in general was a little bit underwhelming, but yeah, tomorrow on my channel we'll talk about my top 5 games of E3 2015. And yeah, I'll see you in that video. But before that, I will have a Wii U News roundup video on my channel talking about the latest Star Fox news. So yeah, that's just pretty much all I've got to talk about. Let me know if you want me to do more of these sort of videos, these longer styled videos where I talk more in depth about my thoughts about gaming. Let me know if you want me to do more of this type of thing. Also, let me know in the comment section who you think won E3 2015. I will be amazed if anybody says Nintendo because of how poor they were this year. But yeah, let me know who you think won E3 2015. Like I said, make sure you look out for my next Wii U News Roundup video. But until next time, I'm out of here for now. Goodbye.